These videos are strictly only for entertainment and educational purposes. I do not encourage or endorse to any of the behaviors of the people I am talking about in my videos. Born on May 13, 1989, in Fredericksburg, Virginia, Bethany Ann Decker had big dreams for her future. After graduating from Stafford High School, she enrolled at George Mason University, where she planned to study global and economic change. In a letter she wrote to her future self at 19, Decker laid out her goals. She dreamed of getting married, having a child, starting a career, and traveling to Europe. Some of her dreams would come true, others wouldn't come at all. In 2009, Decker accomplished 2 of her dreams. Having gotten pregnant by Emil Decker, an Army National Guardsman, she married him and had a son, Kai. Then, Decker focused on her career, continuing her studies as her new husband was deployed in Afghanistan. She also worked as a waitress at Carrabba's Italian Grill in Centerville, Virginia. There, Decker met Ronald Roldan, a Bolivian immigrant about 10 years her senior. The two started a romantic relationship and, in September 2010, she moved into an apartment with him. But Decker's family had a bad feeling about her new boyfriend. According to Daily Mail, Decker described Roldan as super controlling, and Decker's mother, Kimberly Nelson, suspected that he'd gotten violent with both Decker and her son. We can't prove it, but Kai had black eyes for his first birthday. The story was that a friend who didn't have kids was watching him, and he was holding onto a chair and fell backwards. But my parents said that when they saw Kai, he was very afraid of Ronald. According to Nelson, Decker had started thinking about leaving Roldan even though she was several months pregnant with his baby. She was also trying to reconcile with her husband, who'd returned from Afghanistan on a short leave. At the end of January 2011, Bethany and Emil Decker went to Hawaii together to try and work things out. However, just one day after they returned, Bethany Decker disappeared. On January 29, 2011, one day after Decker and her husband returned from Hawaii, Decker called her job from the apartment she shared with Ronald Roldan at 2 p.m., and she spoke with a coworker and asked to work the evening shift. Then, according to Roldan, Decker left their apartment. Roldan seemingly went about his day, withdrawing money from an ATM at 4:26 p.m., and texting Decker twice around the same time to tell her that he'd be at their apartment, taking care of 2 children he shared with another woman. That woman, Danielle Olvera, asked about Decker when she dropped off the children at around 4:30 p.m. Roldan told her he didn't know where Decker was or when she'd be home. And when Olvera noticed Decker's car in the parking lot when she returned several hours later, Roldan said he didn't know why it was there. Still, none of Decker's friends or family were immediately concerned. They weren't even worried when Decker didn't show up at the airport to say goodbye to her husband when he returned to Afghanistan on February 2nd, blaming her absence with their ongoing marital problems. Decker even appeared to send messages from her Facebook account in February 2011. Although her friends noticed she seemed unable to answer basic questions about her life or her trip to Hawaii. In fact, it wasn't until February 19th, 3 weeks after Decker failed to show up at work, that she was reported missing. Police found her car still parked in front of her building, and a subsequent search warrant recovered the car's key at Roldan's mother's house. Aside from that, Decker had vanished without a trace. From that point on, the case of Bethany Decker's disappearance went cold. But investigators today believe they know who abducted the 21-year-old. They think it was her boyfriend, Ronald Roldan. On November 9, 2020, Ronald Roldan was charged with the abduction of Bethany Decker. That December, he was also charged with second-degree murder. So, why do investigators believe that Roldan killed Decker? According to WTOP, a search warrant in 2019 revealed that Decker and Roldan's Facebook accounts had been accessed from the same IP address. That suggested that Roldan had sent Decker's friends messages from her account after she vanished. Roldan is suspected of having impersonated Decker to prevent family and friends from discovering her disappearance, explained Loudoun County Sheriff's Office Detective Mark Bush, who also noted that Roldan had told conflicting stories about Decker's disappearance. Roldan also showed a capacity for violence after Decker disappeared. In 2014, he brutally beat his girlfriend Vicki Willoughby, shooting her in the head and breaking her neck. Roldan subsequently pled guilty to charges associated with the attack and was sent to prison in North Carolina for 6 to 8 years. "He just told me that he can make people disappear," said Vicky Willoughby, "and that I better be quiet and I better not go to the police. I'm just very thankful that he's going to still be locked up and behind bars, because then he can't hurt anyone else." Instead of being deported to Bolivia when his prison term was up, Roldan was extradited to Virginia to face charges related to Bethany Decker's disappearance. And during his trial, Roldan pleaded guilty to a second-degree murder charge for the abduction and death of Bethany Decker and will serve 12 years in prison. Bethany Decker's story is a sad one for sure, but at least, in the end, she got some justice. Thank you for watching this video. Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and also subscribe for more. See you next time. Bye.